It's May 28th, the Sunday before Memorial Day. I'm heading to the West End Gun Club. I woke up a lot later than I expected. It's already 5:53. I was trying to get here at 5, but I just went back to sleep when my alarm went off. But hopefully I can get enough shooting done early in the morning before the crowd starts to build up on Sunday morning. So as you can see, I have this new Vortex Razor HD AMG. This is a 6-24x50 30mm tube. I just got this in this past week from Brownells. I ordered it back in November of 2016 using a 10% coupon, and it's been on back order since, but finally arrived. So I put it on my Savage 10 FP, my project that I've been working on the past few months ago, off and on. I repainted the barrel, or I painted the barrel. This is Alumahide 2 Magpul FDE to match the stock, and this is the 6.5 Creedmoor barrel. So right now I'm at 50 yards and 100 yards, but at 50 yards I'm going to go ahead and bore sight it. Using my standard method. If you don't know my standard method, I'll link to the article I wrote on how to bore sight without a laser in the video description. So I fired 7 rounds and I'm relatively on. If you noticed, as I was adjusting the LTEC turrets on the Razor HD AMG, I was using 2 different tools actually. This is the original LTEC tool, and this is the new I guess they're Mod 2, LTEC Mod 2 tool. The one complaint I've had about the LTEC tool from my Razor HD Gen 2 is the plastic that they use is really weak. When I was removing the turret caps to do the LTEC adjustments, I actually broke the plastic edges on this and I had to get a new one, which is at my house. But the Razor HD AMG comes with the new version of this, and it feels like the plastic is a little bit better as far as the injection molding. It's a lot more heftier, and then they curve the Allen wrench or the hex wrench for you to be able to get to the stop screws. Because if it's too flush against the tube body, you can't get this tool in there, so they needed the angle wrench. So that's kind of cool. So the LTEC tool, as you can see, the Mod 1, the original, the Mod 2, in order to set this to tighten the stop screws, you're going to run into interference with the tube. So it's a lot easier to just use this angled hex wrench to set the stop screws So I think I have this zeroed in at 100 yards, at least within a couple inches, either way on elevation or windage. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch to my hand loads on this gun to do some group testing. Now that I got a zero established, I'm gonna go ahead and test out these hand loads I did. I'm gonna be testing with Lapua new brass, which is small rifle primers, and I'm gonna be reloading trying some reloads with the large rifle standard brass from, this one will be prime. The case is from the prime ammo. But the key thing to note is I need to make sure that I'm not gonna get any severe cratering with the small rifle primers in this gun, because depending on how much slop there is in the firing pin from the factory between the firing pin hole and the firing pin itself, I might have to get it bushed. So right now, the initial load with 40.5 grains at 26-28 feet per second roughly, I have no cratering on the primers, which is good. Of course, when I shoot the other loads with the higher powder charge, we'll see if that maintains. So this is the brass from the hand loads that I just shot. This is brand new Lapua brass with the small rifle primer pockets. 140 grain burger target hybrids, or hybrid targets. CCI BR4 primers, brand new Lapua brass. H4350, ranging from 40.5 grains, 41.0 grains, 41.5 grains, and 42 grains. And as you can see, or hopefully you can see, that there is no crating whatsoever on these primers that you would sometimes see or often see with a factory rifle with where you're shooting small rifle primers in a large bolt face, or typically what would have been a large primer gun. So this is encouraging, and it means I probably don't have to send in my bolt to get the firing pin bushed. I don't have to get it turned down in the firing pin channel on the bolt face bushed, because that's what a lot of people are seeing with their guns right now, is that they have to bush their firing pins. So this is really good. So 42 grains appears to be a good node for me though. I'll show the target later, but it's a pretty tight group. And the velocities are okay. One thing I neglected this morning in my rush to get out is I forgot to get the SD card for this slab radar. So I've been having to write stuff down, and I'll have to do all the calculations after the fact. And the worst thing too is I forgot to bring my notebook. So I had to pull the notebook out of my go bag, and for some reason I have no pens, and all I have is my silver Sharpie in my go bag. So it's a little annoying today. I'm not fully prepared, given all the crap that I lug to the range on a normal basis. I just don't have pens. So I guess if my tip for anyone is to carry a lot of pens or pencils and throw them in all your bags, so you're never in this predicament. So adjusting the turrets on the Razor HD AMG is about the same as the Razor HD Gen 2. It's just the, we'll see if the set screws hold better than the Razor HD Gen 2. I found that on the Razor HD Gen 2 I've had to use Loctite on the set screws, which has made because they keep coming out, and I didn't want to put too much torque on these set screws because you don't want to strip them. So we'll see if these hold up without Loctite. I use purple Loctite, just to note. You don't want to use blue or red, definitely not red, but blue Loctite on those small screws is not a good idea, especially since you do want them to move. You just want enough thread locker in there to keep the set screws from loosening up on recoil. But right now we'll see if these hold up. I'm not trying to put too much torque because I don't want to strip these screws out. One thing I wanted to note as far as the turrets are concerned, the locking turrets are a little bit stiffer than the Razor HD Gen 2. To pop them, it does take a lot more force or deliberate force, and I kind of have to hold the rifle a little bit more than I would with the Razor HD Gen 2. The windage, no, it's about the same. Hopefully that'll wear in over time, because I do, as much as I want locking turrets, I do want them to pop out a little bit easier than they are now. But I mean, it just goes to show that there is a tight fit on all the parts here, so it is what it is. So I pulled off the main line. I came to the back range because it was getting too busy to do a target analysis. So this is my target at 100 yards. The center column here, these two dots, were shot with the 140 grain factory Hornady ELD match. Just basically trying to get the Vortex Razor HD AMG sighted in as far as the zero is concerned with the zero stop. So I got it pretty much on here from where I was going to be fairly acceptable, or I would accept this for my hand load testing. So I started off with the left side. This is the Lapua, brand new Lapua brass, the Berger 140 grain hybrid targets with H4350 and CCI BR-4 small rifle primer, bench rest primers. This is a 40.5 grains, which is a nice tight group. This is a 41 grains, which is a little bit left to right. 41.5 grains. This is a four shots here, and I threw this one. I guess this is the first shot. And this one is 42 grains, a little bit left to right. But generally, the groups with the brand new Lapua brass is really good. Then the right side, I shot the hand loads with the neck-sized prime brass. That's from the Prime ammo, factory ammo. So I neck-sized it, and it's the same bullet, Berger 140 grain hybrid targets, same powder, H4350, but with a different primer. Obviously, that's a large rifle primer. That was CCI bench rest BR2s. So 40.5 grains, 41 grains, 41.5, and 42 grains. And as you can see here, the groups are not good at all. Not sure what's happening here. The fifth shot here, I don't know where it's at. It could be this one or this one. This is a 5-shot group here. They're all 5-shot groups. The velocities are about the same. I have to look at my notebook to do the averages. But definitely you can see the groups are just horrendous here. And I'm not sure if this is a byproduct of my hand loading process or if it's just the prime brass or what. But definitely brand new Lapua brass is better than the neck-sized prime brass. The brass was a little bit stiff to get in. I'd have to push the bolt a little bit forward to get it to cam over. That's just because it was neck-sized. Maybe I should bump the shoulders. I don't know. Either way, I'm not happy at all with this. But then again, the prime factory ammo didn't shoot very well either. This is almost indicative of what the factory ammo was looking at like when I was shooting that through this gun. These last 4 shots here, I just shot 3 shots here just to see what the zero was like after I shot all this ammo. And I did a readjustment to bring it down on the zero stop for elevation. And so that's where I ended at. I think we're pretty good here as far as what I was trying to accomplish today. I did get valid velocities out of this. I'll have to crunch the numbers by hand since I didn't bring a memory card, as I mentioned earlier, for the lab radar. But I'm really happy with the way this looks, and I'm very happy with the fact that I didn't get any primer cratering out of the small rifle primers in my factory Savage bolt. So I don't have to send it in to get it turned down and have the firing pin channel bushed. So this is really cool. I can stick with Hornady. I can stick with Lapua 6.5 Creedmoor brass in this gun, and I should be good to go. And I'm going to start fleshing out these loads here. I'm happy that across the board the groups are good with the with such a variance as far as 40.5 all the way to 42. I will probably go with 42 and develop 42, maybe try 42.5 to see where it stands and see if there's any primer crating at 42.5 and see what the groups look like from there. But I want to go with glossy as much as I can, as long as I don't sacrifice group size. So that's pretty much it for this range visit. Even though I woke up late and didn't get to the range as early as I wanted to, I was still able to get all my shooting done that I needed. And I'm very happy with the results today, especially the fact that, one, I don't need to bush the firing pin on this Savage to use small rifle primer, 6.5 Creedmoor brass. And two, the hand loads that I shot, at least with the Lapua brass, were excellent across the board. So I'm very happy there. A little bit concerned with the fact that the prime brass, the hand loads shot not good at all. I mean, they were way over a minute of angle as far as accuracy is concerned, but we'll see. I don't know if those hand loads shot poorly because of my hand loading process, but they were neck sized. I'll try to work something out. Maybe the prime brass just isn't that good, and it could explain the fact that the prime factory ammo didn't shoot well in this gun either. So it is what it is. So that's pretty much it for today. The range is definitely packed now. There's a match taking up all the rear bays. The main firing line is pretty much full now. And even the 22 range, or 22 bay, is being used. So probably gonna take a few stock photos that I need for my blog, and after that I'm gonna head out. But that's it for today, May 28th, Sunday, day before Memorial Day. Hopefully everyone has a good Memorial Day. Take the time to remember those who we should remember on Memorial Day, and have a safe holiday.
3 rounds and I'll call break.
No problem.